pig. For the initial setup, we want to prepare or find an area that's flat, level, but allowing some drainage of water. We don't want any pooling water to stay under our pig. Our delivery truck on this one is obviously already pulled away. We're already all set up. But when this pig shows up, we want to lower the front legs first, get our initial leveling with just those front legs and the tires itself. Let that truck pull away, then we can lower the rest of the gear here. We want to make sure that all these feet are lowered all the way. It's important we want to distribute that weight evenly throughout the pig. We don't want to hurt it that way if something's not down correctly. And then even though on this side we've got some nice ground on us here, taking the precaution of adding some wider feet, if you will, here with this wood to just help spread that weight a little more. So prepare that area, nice flat level, drop the front two, level the pig out itself, and once that truck is gone, you can lower the rest of the feet to give the support to the pig that it's going to need. Okay, so we're ready to load some material into the pig from a delivery truck. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that there's no pressure on our pig. We do that by checking out our gauges here, making sure they're at 0. And also we can go down to our vent pipe that's connected to our filter bag right now, and we can crack that open so that any pressure would be relieved there. And we're going to leave that valve open anyway because we want any dust that would be generated whenever we're loading material in to go out that way and be collected in that bag. But also we're going to leave that open because whenever we load material into the pig, we want that dust to go out and be collected in that pipe anyway. So next we want to check our hatches are all closed. Really in our instance here, our applications, we're not messing with that hatch anyway, so we can just leave that hatch closed and alone. We want to make sure that all of our hopper valves are closed here on the bottom, each and every one of them. We don't want any material that's being loaded into the pig to then be headed out this way and out our delivery pipe for our product. Yeah, I think we're ready to go there. So after we've checked all that, all those valves are closed, we can go ahead and let our delivery driver hook up and unload his material into our storage pig. Okay, so now we've got material in our storage pig, and now we're going to transfer it out of here into a spreader truck. So the first thing we did, we hooked up our product delivery hose, one end to our spreader truck, the other end to our product delivery line here. We want to make sure that all of our valves and hatches are closed because we're going to be pressurizing this in a moment. So when we do that, we want to make sure that the valves are closed and get pressurized. We haven't messed with that hatch again. So here's our pressure control valve. Whenever we're getting ready to move this material, we're going to open this up to make sure we move any material out of there that might have already just been laying in there from before. So whenever things start to pressurize, it'll move that material out of there. So there we go, we're ready to start to pressurize the pig now. So now we're going to start the generator and the blower. So for units equipped with electric blowers, we're going to plug in the electric supply or hardwired in itself. We're going to plug it into a 3-phase generator with a known capacity that can support the blower itself. We're going to start the generator, and then we're going to press the start button up here on the power pack to get that going. Okay, so now we've started our generator and our blower, so we've got some air coming to us right now. We have our pressure control valve still open from before, so any material that happened to have been in there has now moved out into the spreader truck. We're ready to pressurize this, and we're going to do that through our aeration valves. So all our air right now would be going through the pressure control valve and out our product hose. We don't want that anymore. To pressurize, we're going to close that pressure control valve. And make sure all of our aeration valves are open to start to fluff that material, pressurize the pig. We're going to pressurize to about 9 to 10 psi, and we don't want to get above 15. Okay, so now we've pressurized the pig. For the sake of this demonstration, you might notice that these gauges are still reading 0. Really for the audio, we're not doing it live. So whenever we see our tank pressure get up to the 9 to 10 psi range, now we know we've built enough pressure and we're ready to start moving material. Remember, we've pressurized it through the aerators, so kind of help to fluff things up, help to move that material once we do start moving it. So to do that, Now we're ready to open up the pressure control valve that we had previously closed to build that pressure. So we're gonna go down here, we're gonna open that up to about half position. Leave it about half because we're gonna use that to kind of balance to make sure we maintain that 9 to 10 PSI. Pressure control valve to about halfway. So at this point we got air moving through the line here. No material yet. We're gonna open up the first hopper now. Gonna slowly open this valve. So now we've got air moving through here, material coming out through the product delivery hose into a spreader truck. And we want to be careful, think about how much material is already in that truck, how much more material we need to move into it to fill it. We don't want to overfill that spreader truck. You'll notice we did start at the first hopper here. Different people have different ideas of how they want to do it. We like doing it from the first hopper. That way, if you were to plug the line over here, it's a little easier to kind of reverse things and pull a vacuum on that to help to get that plug out of the way. And then you can start to move the material again. So that's why we like to move it from the first hopper to start. Okay, so now we've loaded our spreader truck. He wants to get out on the job site. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stop material flowing to that spreader truck. We're gonna close that hopper valve. So that's stopping material. We're gonna open up our pressure control valve all the way to make sure we're gonna clear that line. That's back down here. After we do that, we can turn off our blower. So now that line's open all the way. So now that air line is moving through, clearing that line. I can turn off my blower and depressurize my pig by opening the valve to the vent pipe. It's connected to our filter bag right now. It's going to collect any dust that would happen to come out. Once we do that, we can then disconnect our product delivery hose from our spreader truck and he can get out in the field. Okay, so we're moving material into our spreader truck from the pig. Keep an eye on my gauges here. Whenever I see that our gauges start to drop 2-3 PSI, I know that my hopper's starting to run empty. So at that point, what I want to do is close the hopper valve on the empty hopper and open the next hopper up. So this one's running empty. Close this valve. Slowly open the next one. When I do that, now material's coming out of here. Our pressure's gonna pop back up to our normal 9 to 10 PSI, and we're just gonna be ready. Keep an eye on the spreader truck, don't overfill that. All right, so now we're gonna talk about emptying this pig as much as possible, and you would wanna do that if you are returning it back to Mintek, you're all done with it, or if you wanna move it to a different spot on that project. So you wanna do that to minimize the weight on this pig because you don't want to transport this with material in there. It's not made to do that. So to do that, we're going to do those same steps we talked about as far as transferring the material, but it's going to be at a lot lower pressures now. You won't be able to maintain the pressure, and you don't want to be blowing a ton of air over into the spreader truck. So you're going to work from hopper to hopper, just kind of cracking valves as you go, let material move through them. And if you do it right, you can almost hear the whistling if you open that valve just a little bit. So just a couple notches, really what you want to do as you work your way. So just a couple notches there, let that one empty out. Go ahead and open up another one, close this one, and keep working your way until the pig is empty.